March 4th, 2002, Afghanistan. A Chinook helicopter cuts through the frozen darkness at 10,000 feet, carrying 7 Navy SEALs toward a mountain peak called Takur Ghar. Their mission: establish an observation post overlooking the Shahi Kot Valley, where Operation Anaconda, the largest American offensive since the invasion, is about to begin. The SEALs don't know it yet, but they're flying directly into a prepared al-Qaeda position. In the next 15 hours, this forgotten mountaintop will become the site of the deadliest day for American Special Operations Forces since Vietnam. This is the story of Roberts Ridge.
Welcome to Brother Board Plays, your home for war stories and history. If you don't want to miss out on the future videos, smash that like button, hit that bell icon, and subscribe to the channel. Let's dive in.
As the Chinook approaches the landing zone, the night erupts. Heavy machine gun fire tears into the helicopter from multiple positions. The al-Qaeda fighters have been waiting, dug into bunkers with a perfect field of fire. The hydraulics blow. The controls fail. The helicopter lurches violently. In the chaos, Petty Officer First Class Neil Roberts loses his grip. He slides toward the open ramp as the Chinook banks hard, trying to escape. His teammates reach for him, but it's too late. Neil Roberts falls into the darkness, directly onto the enemy-held peak. The pilot fights to keep the damaged bird in the air. Fuel spraying, alarms screaming, they manage to crash land 7 kilometers away. The team is shaken but alive, but Neil Roberts is alone on that mountain. The SEAL team knows the rule: you never leave a man behind. But what they don't know is that Neil Roberts is still alive, fighting. Alone against dozens of enemy fighters, he engages them with his squad automatic weapon and rifle. The firefight lasts several minutes before Roberts is killed. But his teammates don't know this, and they're coming back for him. A second Chinook is scrambled carrying the rest of SEAL Team 6, call sign Mako 30. They're joined by a combat controller and a quick reaction force. At dawn, they insert directly onto the peak, into the same landing zone where Roberts fell. The moment the ramp drops, hell breaks loose. Machine gun fire rips into the helicopter before anyone can exit. The enemy is close, within meters. A SEAL is hit immediately. The combat controller, Technical Sergeant John Chapman, charges forward under withering fire to suppress an enemy bunker, allowing the team to exit the kill zone. Chapman single-handedly assaults the fortified position, killing multiple enemy fighters. He's hit, but keeps fighting, clearing the bunker. For a moment, the team has a foothold on this hell-bound mountain. But the SEALs are heavily outnumbered. Enemy fighters are everywhere, in bunkers, in trees, dug into the rocky terrain. The Americans are exposed on the barren peak with nowhere to hide. The temperature is below freezing. The altitude makes every breath a struggle. Another SEAL is killed, another wounded. The team is pinned down, taking fire from 3 sides. In the confusion, they believe Chapman is dead and make the agonizing decision to fall back down the mountain to regroup. But John Chapman isn't dead. Severely wounded, alone, he regains consciousness and continues fighting. For over an hour, he holds his position, engaging enemy fighters as they try to overrun the peak. When a helicopter carrying a quick reaction force approaches, Chapman sees enemy fighters moving into positions to shoot it down. Despite his wounds, he rises and engages them, drawing their fire. He's cut down, but his actions allow the helicopter to escape. John Chapman fights alone for an hour before he's finally killed. His actions won't be fully understood until 2010, when Predator drone footage is reviewed. In 2018, he's awarded the Medal of Honor, the first Air Force combat controller to ever receive it. But the battle isn't over. 2 Chinooks carrying Army Rangers from the 75th Regiment are diverted to Takur Ghar. They're told it's a rescue mission. What they're not told is that they're landing in the middle of a fortified enemy position. The lead Chinook lands directly in the kill zone. As the Rangers pour out, RPGs and machine gun fire slam into them. Within seconds, 4 Rangers are down. One is the pilot, killed instantly. Another Ranger, Specialist Mark Anderson, is critically wounded. The second helicopter tries to land but takes an RPG directly to the cockpit. The pilot is killed, but somehow the co-pilot manages to crash land. Now both helicopters are destroyed, and the Rangers are fighting for their lives on the frozen peak. Senior Airman Jason Cunningham, a pararescue man, works desperately to save the wounded under fire. He's shot multiple times, but continues treating casualties for over an hour before he dies. Private First Class Matthew Commons is killed providing covering fire for his team. The Rangers establish a defensive perimeter using the wrecked helicopters for cover. For hours, they hold against repeated attacks. They're running low on ammunition. The wounded are dying from blood loss in the freezing cold. Staff Sergeant Aaron Cannon takes control of the situation, organizing the defense, calling in danger-close airstrikes that land within 50 meters of their position. A C-130 gunships pound the enemy bunkers. F-15S drop 500-pound bombs that shake the mountain. By late afternoon, reinforcements finally fight their way up the mountain. The Rangers and surviving SEALs are evacuated. The Battle of Takur Ghar is over. 7 Americans died on that frozen peak. Neil Roberts, the SEAL, who fell into the darkness. John Chapman, who fought alone for an hour. 5 Rangers and Air Force personnel who flew into hell to rescue their brothers. 2 Medals of Honor were awarded for actions on Roberts Ridge to Navy SEAL Britt Slabinski for his leadership under fire, and posthumously to John Chapman. Multiple Silver Stars and Bronze Stars were awarded to the Rangers who held that mountain. But the battle raised hard questions. Why were elite forces inserted into prepared positions without adequate reconnaissance? Why were communication failures allowed to leave Chapman behind? These questions would be debated for years. What's not debated is the courage shown on that mountain. Men who fought alone when they had every reason to run. Men who came back for their brothers knowing they'd probably die. Men who held impossible ground because their teammates were counting on them. Roberts Ridge stands as a reminder of what soldiers will endure for each other. That brotherhood isn't just a word. It's something worth dying for. That's the real story of Takur Ghar. A story of sacrifice, courage, and the warriors who never leave their own behind.